guys will get to see. And so it's the 40th this year. We're really excited. I'm going to be revealing one of our mazes we're going to be doing this year. So let's see. Oh, let's talk, not scary. That's me. I've designed here. These are some of the mazes I've designed: Doll Factory, Endgames, Virus Z, Terror of London. I also do the hanging. I designed that. That's a lot of fun. So, in celebration of Halloween Haunt, Knott's 40th anniversary, new for 2012, we are doing, you kind of get some hints over here, Dominion of the Dead. Now, it's not going to be the old Dominion of the Dead. But first, let's look back at the old one. Does anybody remember that one from 1995? It was this beautiful maze that followed seduction. It was black and gray. It wasn't just vampires. They had ghosts and apparitions. Let's see. This is an actual blurb from 1995. Enter into a dominion of shadows where all forces of the dead dwell. This is some of the storyboarding concept art that was done for the maze in 1995, which is very cool. We pulled that out so that you guys can take a look at it. This is where that was Sandy there, Sandy Graham, our queen. More concept art from 1995. So basically, you guys have the idea. It's beautiful, Victorian, black and gray. There was blood red, these gorgeous girls dressed up as gothic brides and everything. So what we wanted to do was sort of reinvent it for this year, but without doing the exact same thing, We want to give it a shout out to Dominion, but make it new, and make it new for 2012. Because, vampires have come a long way since 1995, right? So, first and foremost, I want to let you guys know that our vampires don't sparkle. Yeah. Our vampires are not vegetarians. They also don't pout or brood, whine. Our vampires are bloodthirsty monsters, okay? We're all sick of those sparkly vampires, aren't we? So basically, we developed Dominion for 2012 around this theme, Aurora Bella, which is Italian for beautiful horror. And instead of reading this, I'll just sort of talk about it naturally. We wanted to figure out how are these vampires going to be luring people in? What we're going to get, how are they going to get you in the door so that they could kill you? And we came up with the concept of doing a museum that had art and beauty, but it was a little twisted, a little off. So this is an original concept of what, obviously it's subject to change, of what we want to do for the entrance here. You'll see a mixture of architecture and things like that. The thought process there is that they've been living through different eras and they're collecting kind of their favorite parts of the architecture, the art, etc. This is the concept of when you first enter into the gallery. You'll see a balcony. That's a place where we can actually put people up there. That's the plan. They can pop out here. There's going to be some different scares in there that I won't reveal quite yet. But this is just a look at what the first room, the foremost gallery would look like. Here's another piece. You'll see sculptures. We're really inspired by art and music for this. So as you're walking through, it's going to be kind of off though. The art's not going to just be, all beautiful. It'll be off. You can actually kind of see one of the art concepts over here too, to my right. If you guys want to look at that afterwards, you're totally welcome to also. So this is the very first area, and this maze is going to be broken up into 3 sections. The first is the Gallery of the Damned, and you'll be scared in here, but at the same time, we want you to be lured in and kind of seduced. Then the second portion is what we're calling the Dark Courtyard. We wanted to do this without it being, do a graveyard without it being a graveyard. So if you've been to some museums that are set in people's houses, you go from the inside, and a lot of times they have gardens or, courtyard portions. Well, this is the vampires portion of that. It's where they get to bathe in the moonlight, etc. And here, we want it to feel like the vampires are crawling out of the ground. So we're going to do some cool stuff to get that effect. And we also want to have living statues, coffins, but it's not going to quite be a graveyard, but but still be a shout out, you know? Oh, this is also the kind of vampire we want to do. We're going to go back to Nosferatu here. So instead of the Buffy the Vampire thing that we've been, you know, everybody's seen and done, we're going back to the, you know, older looking with the 2 front teeth and everything. This is a concept of one of the living statues that we are talking about doing, and she'll move. All right, so then you go from there, and this is where actually my favorite part of it is. It's kind of the finale. We're calling it the inner sanctum. And this is where you get to see the vampires gallery, where they're painting, where they're creating. This is where humans should not end up and walk out alive, essentially. So, earlier I showed you a picture of what was, you know, the sculpture. Well, in here, now this sculpture would be made out of bones. The architecture is going to be surreal, kind of folding in on itself. We'll have a lot of gore. Where there was like a violin or a cello before, there's going to be a body or a dead person or a person being tortured, things like that. But it's still beautiful, so these vampires are painting them, and it still gives us the seduction of dominion that we had in 1995, but with a modern, gory, bloody twist. So this is what you would see in the first room, and then what you would see in the second room. So they mirror each other, in the last room I should say. They mirror each other, but obviously the new one's way more disturbing. This is also a couple samples of like before and after art. And then these 2 are also. So it's what you would see in the front, the museum, and then again what you would see in the inner sanctum. Obviously, we're still developing all of this. It's early and everything, but I'm excited to show you what we've got so far. There's a whole bunch of other really awesome stuff coming up for the 40th too. So come and see Dominion this year. All right? Thanks, guys.